All right. Spurs lose to the Boston Celtics 103 to 116. I'll get into the stats right here in a second, but real quick before I look at that, I'll just do my first impressions from the game. Just got done watching it. So, yeah, man, I'd say Stephon Castle is definitely a beast. We can all agree on that. He ripped Derek White in the backcourt. He ripped him and got, I think it was a lob to Devin Vassell, so that was nasty. Castle just plays with so much confidence out there. Again, I haven't seen the numbers yet, but I think Castle had a good game. Um, Wemby seemed a little off out there. I haven't seen his numbers again, but he seemed off. Mitch Johnson's still playing the Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox lineup with those two guys together. And again, I feel like they just negate what each other is best at. Chris Paul would be better on the court as the primary ball handler, and De'Aaron Fox would be better on the court as the primary ball handler as well. So when we play De'Aaron and Chris Paul together, it just turns one of them into a spot up shooter, which just kind of messes up the whole offense, to be honest. Um, but yeah, again, Wemby, you don't feel like he had too great of a game. Another thing too, there was a bunch of times we weren't getting rebounding the ball. Say the Celtics miss a shot, the ball bounces, and say in one more bounce, the ball is about to be to me. Say I'm on the Spurs, I'm just waiting for the ball to get to me, and then some Celtic actually comes in on a full sprint and gets the rebound. So we were, waiting for the rebound to come to us instead of attacking the ball to get the rebound. So that was another glaring thing I saw out there was just, I guess, I don't say our lack of hustle, but the Celtics out hustled us. Another thing, the Celtics look like an absolute machine out there. They reminded me of the 2014 Spurs, where the ball is just swinging all around the arc. That Spurs team didn't take as many threes as these Celtics, of course, but that Celtics blueprint, it's not built exactly around that Spurs team, but it's just all about player movement, off-ball player movement, ball rotation around the arc. They have Kristaps Porzingis, who's just right there in the middle, who kind of plays as their Tim Duncan for their team. Of course, Tim Duncan's a way better player. He's a legend, but they have Kristaps in the middle, then they just have it all spaced out around the arc, and they just shoot the three ball so well. The Celtics team is like an old head NBA fans just nightmare. Like if you hate watching teams shoot threes, I can see older guys, NBA fans watching the Celtics and just being sick to see it. But in my opinion, it's pretty beautiful basketball. Honestly, if you're just dribbling down the whole court and just running up and trunking up threes, that's one thing. Then I'd be like, man, that's not the way to play. But with the Celtics, it's all ball movement. All the threes they take, not gonna say they're all wide open, but this whole game I didn't see them take one bad three, unless it was with the shot clock winding down. But yeah, so yeah, Stephon Castle's a beast. Wemby didn't play his best game. We'll get into the numbers, but I'm sure he'd be the first one to tell you that. Also, I think the Spurs made three threes in the whole first half. Stephon Castle made two of them. So that goes to show how we were shooting, because love Stephon Castle, but he's not our number one 3-point shooting option. Um, and then yeah, one more thing too before we get to the numbers. Wemby was like our only rebounder out there again. It's been an issue game after game all season long. We don't gang rebound, and we just need a backup big man. And even without us having the backup big man, which brings me back to my next point, because we do have the backup big man now. We have Bismack Biyombo, but we didn't play Biyombo last game. We didn't play him this game either. So I'm just so confused. It's like, what do we pick up Bismack for if we're not going to play him? We signed him to a 10-day contract. So it's already been, what, I don't know, four of those days so far. So it's just confusing. We don't play Biyombo when we could definitely use his rebounding. Could have used his rebounding all season. Biyombo plays hard if you haven't seen him before, so he would definitely help us out. But thought that was weird as well that we're not playing Biyombo. That's strange too. But yeah, we'll get right here to the numbers. Celtics won by 13 points, beat us 103 to 116. They're 39-16. Again, the Celtics, they're just an amazing team. They remind me of the San Antonio Spurs in 2014. So hopefully we can find our way back to moving the ball like that and just having the chemistry that their team has, because they've been together for a good amount of years now, and They just have that chemistry as a team. But yeah, we'll get here to the box score. Real quick, speaking of numbers, I'm at a big 17 subscribers. Trying to get to 20 by the end of today, and YouTube said they're going to send me a brand new above ground swimming pool. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the game. Right to it though, Harrison Barnes, he's been our most consistent player all year long. You can pretty much put him out there, and you know he's going to give you. You can pretty much count on him giving you at least 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and just playing solid defense, not taking any dumb shots. He's always going to make the right passes. He's always going to make the right plays. So Harrison's been great for us all season. He's been an awesome addition. But yeah, he had a good game. 5 for 13, 14 points, 7 boards and 3 assists. So we'll take that all day from Harrison. The only thing you could point out is him going 2 for 8 from 3. So he's usually a better 3-point shooter, but he had a bit of an off shooting night, but so did our whole team, to be honest. Right here, getting to our boy Wemby. He played 36 minutes, so that's cool to see. His minutes are getting a bit higher. I've noticed that as we're getting closer to the playoffs, whether we make it into the playoffs or not, I've noticed Wemby's minutes have been going up. So if we can sneak into the play-in or sneak into whichever seed we can get into when we do get into the playoffs, I can see that Mitch Johnson, the coaching staff, is starting to ramp up Wemby's minutes just to get his cardio and stamina ready for the playoffs if we do make it there. But yeah, he was 7 for 16. He had 17 points. So 16 shots for 17 points. It's not good efficiency. The 2 blocks though, so you can always count on Wemby for at least a block or 2. 1 block is like a horrible night for him. He usually gets you 2 to 5, honestly, but the 2 blocks, just another night of blocking shots. He has the 4 assists as well, the 13 rebounds, and then he's 1 for 6 from 3. So, you look, 17 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Only 2 turnovers, so I do love to see the 2 turnovers in 36 minutes. But, we just expect so much from Wemby, and he expects so much from himself. And, the past 2 or 3 games, I've been saying Wemby had a bad game. But if you just look at his numbers, if I just told somebody, some random, hey, Wemby had 17 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 4 assists, they'd probably say, hey, yeah, that's a pretty solid game. And it is a solid game. But again, Wembanyama will be the first one to tell you that he didn't have a good game this game. He'd probably say the same thing about his last game. We just have such high standards for Wemby that we just haven't really seen him have his best game yet. Of course, he had the 50 points against the Wizards earlier in the season, and that was kind of the one time, one of the few times in Wemby's career where I've said, man, he's just freaking on fire. He can just shoot whatever he wants, and he's not missing. But other than that, I haven't really seen it so much from him. One thing about Wemby too, he impacts the game in a huge way. Of course, he is a number 1 scorer, but he doesn't have a gigantic bag, I guess, to go to get to his shots and whatnot. He does have a good amount of moves and a good amount of shots he can get. But comment below if you notice this too. He likes to get the ball, dribble left, and he likes to go to that fadeaway. If you know what I'm talking about, he'll get the ball, kind of right there at the top of the key. 2 dribbles left, get to that fadeaway, and he hits it a lot of the time. But what I've noticed is when Wemby's going right, or say if he rips the ball through this way and he tries to pull up like that, then he doesn't hit those shots as much as when he pulls up like right here. Does that make sense if you know what I'm saying? Like when his elbow's tucked, it's like if he's going left, he pulls up with like a tucked in elbow pretty much every single time. But then when he comes right, he kind of swings the ball through, and then he's pulling up. So as he's pulling up, his elbow's out, and then he tries to center his elbow, while he's kind of in the air about to get the shot off. Comment below if that makes sense, but that's one thing I think Wemby should kind of work on over the offseason is just, of course his strength, put on 10 more pounds or whatever, get a little more muscle on, then just work on swinging the ball through left to right to pull up, if that makes sense. I've noticed that all season. He likes to go left and then pull up going left, but when he's pulling up going right, he's not nearly as efficient. I'm not going to pull up some advanced numbers, but I'm sure there's probably some advanced numbers that would back that up. Our boy CP3, 5 points, 8 assists, freaking 4 steals out there, so that's great. 0 turnovers, so 8 assists to 0 turnovers, that's great as well. 2 for 8 from the field, so that's not great. 1 for 5 from 3, so that's not great either. There was, no, excuse me. There was a point in the second quarter where Chris Paul took like probably 3 or 4 shots in a row, it seemed like. He was being really aggressive out there. Again, I love Chris Paul. Nothing against Chris Paul, but we just need him to come off the bench already. I know we pretty much promised him starter minutes, or he came to San Antonio to get starting minutes. So it's just such a weird situation for Mitch Johnson because we kind of told Chris Paul, you're going to be the starter, you're going to get these starting minutes. So it seems like we're still starting him just for like team political reasons, though, just to not. I don't want to say not to upset Chris Paul. I guess that's what it is. But Chris Paul's such a professional. He doesn't seem like he would get upset about that. But I mentioned in my previous video, it seems like we're. Comment below what you think. Also, I don't think we're all in trying to make the playoffs. It seems like it doesn't seem like we're playing the best lineups we can possibly play to make the playoffs because whenever we have Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox both out there at the same time, they're kind of negating the things that each other is best at because both those guys need to have the ball in their hands, and both those guys need to be the ball handler and the primary point of attack. They need to be the guy running the the screen action, pick and roll, pick and pop. They need to be in the middle of the floor engaging it. Chris Paul is in the middle of the floor running the offense, then De'Aaron Fox is in the corner spotted up. And vice versa. If De'Aaron Fox is running the center of attack, then Chris Paul is in the corner spotted up. So, since we got De'Aaron Fox, you haven't seen really any games where Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox both play well. Against De'Aaron Fox played well, but then you see Chris Paul with the 2 for 8. The assists, the steals are great, no turnovers. So, he played a really good game. For what it was, if you don't include his shooting percentage. But if he was coming off the bench, he could have done this same thing. He could have played 28 minutes off the bench and then, been even more impactful. He probably would have shot better. He could still have the 4 steals and 8 assists. Again, the defense is great. Those steals and assists are great for us. But even if we start them both, like what I don't understand with Mitch Johnson, we can start them both. I don't think we should, but we always do. So we start them both, but then they always come back in the game at the same time. It's like start staggering their minutes after they both start. If you're going to do that, which we have been, so that's probably not going to change. But if they're both going to start, then bring De'Aaron Fox in first, and then bring Chris Paul in 2 minutes before De'Aaron Fox is going to go out, and just kind of stagger their minutes like that so they can be more effective. But yeah, like I said, Chris Paul had an off night shooting wise. I'm not going to say it was totally off offensively because he had the 8 assists. But again, if he was running our second unit, he could have done the same thing. And then, just had the ball in his hands even more. But yeah, you come to De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox had a great game. 10 for 16 from the field. 23 points. 5 assists. He did have the 3 turnovers, but, it is what it is when you're going 100 miles an hour. 3 rebounds. He only hit 1 3. He only got 3 free throws and hit 2 free throws. But this is what the Spurs needed. We needed that guy like De'Aaron Fox. Now we have him. We have the guy that can get you, 20 to 30 points on any given night. He just comes off the screens. He comes up the court. We isolated him a few times. He can just get a bucket in the ISO. I won't say he can get a bucket every time in the ISO, but he can get himself a good look pretty much 100% of the time in the isolation. He's so fast. Run him off the screen and roll. Another thing I've noticed, we usually set the screen on the wrong side for De'Aaron. Like, we're setting screens to get him to go right, and he can still be effective that way because he comes right off the screen, and he usually beats his man. Then he kind of snakes his way back to his left hand. He just kind of worked his way back, which is where he ends up finishing usually with his left hand. But yeah, when you set the screen, so just let him go left, because when you set the screen and he just comes off left, he's just going 100 miles an hour. And he's just beating guys to the hoop. He can just get past him and go to his little step back and get his step back mid-range game going. But yeah, great game for De'Aaron Fox. Another reason I don't think we're going all in to make the play in or make the playoffs. I think the experience will be good for our guys. I kind of was thinking that's what we were gonna do when we got De'Aaron Fox, was just be all in to get the best position we can in the play in or playoffs if we can get to the sixth seed somehow. But another reason, I don't think we're putting ourselves in the best position to win it as a team. And again, comment below what you think. But I'm not seeing. I don't think I saw it. Definitely not two or three times this game where De'Aaron Fox runs like the high screen action with Victor Wembanyama. Like they should run. Wemby should set a screen. Example tonight, we're playing the Celtics. He should set a screen on the Celtics logo and set it on the right side so De'Aaron can come off and he can go to his left. And once De'Aaron's going left 100 miles an hour, now you have De'Aaron coming off this way. Wemby, he's not going to pop. He'll just roll every time. But if this makes sense, Fox is coming off the screen, like I said, on the Celtics logo. So he's pretty much coming off around half court. He's coming 100 miles an hour towards the whole defense. Someone's going to have to come and help, maybe someone from the corner, whoever it is. So you have De'Aaron Fox. He's going to get 2 feet in the paint from there. And then you have Wemby, rolling with him. So Wemby has the choice. He can just stop. He can stop at the three-point line. De'Aaron can throw it back to him for an open 3 ball. Or, depending on what the defense is doing, Wemby can roll all the way to the rim with Fox. Fox can throw him the lob if it's there. If not, while Wemby's rolling, this guy has to help off of the corner, or this guy has to help off of the corner to help on Fox. And then we're just getting open corner threes all day. Just breaking the defense down. Kind of like you see what the Celtics are doing. We'll just be creating so many mismatches and defensive breakdowns if we were running, again, that high screen action basically at half court, with Wemby and Fox. And comment below what you think, but they probably did it at least once this game, but I can't recall one time they did it just off the top of my head. But I think that would be so effective, where, Fox is coming off, he's going 100 miles an hour towards the 3-point line, and then Wemby's kind of rolling with him. He can stop at the 3, get an open 3 if that's what the defense allows, or roll all the way to the rim, get an alley-oop. If the alley-oop's not there, again, the corner guy's open for a 3. But yeah, I'd like to see more of that high screen action with Fox and Wemby. Devin Vassell had another off game. He has 8 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 for 12 from the field, and 0 for 4 from 3. What's today? Today's February 12th. I said probably early January I made a video. It wasn't all about Vassell, but I was talking about Vassell in the video, saying he had been a little inconsistent up to that point. He's still been inconsistent now, but I was basically saying if he still looks this way in mid to late February and he's still inconsistent, then I'll start feeling a little worried, and I'm honestly starting to feel a little worried. I don't know what it is. One thing I feel like having Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox in the game at the same time is not putting Vassell, in the best position to be successful. But even with that being said, before we picked up De'Aaron Fox, he was still being consistently inconsistent, and he's just been consistently inconsistent for almost 2 whole months now. And I know Vassell's so talented. It's just I don't know. It's just confusing, honestly. I hope he gets it. Hope he gets his consistency back. I wouldn't say any crazy things. I've heard some fans and people talking about, oh, we got to trade Vassell. Excuse me. But I wouldn't say all that. I don't think it's that dire. People were saying as well, Vassell's not a second option. He's not a second option before we picked up De'Aaron Fox. And I agree, he's not a second option, but now he slid into that third option spot. And I thought he'd be, one of the best third options in the league, honestly. But his inconsistency is starting to worry me, honestly. So we'll see what happens moving on. So I only had 13 minutes. That's kind of unexcusable, honestly. If we were seriously trying to play this game like a playoff game, which it's not, and trying to really really go all out to win the game. Sohan would have played 30, 35 minutes, but then I don't know if his back is still bothering him. That's the only reason I could think. So I'm not hoping Sohan is injured, but if he's not, if the back isn't bothering him, I'm really confused. Really confused as to why he'd only played 13 minutes, but 4 points, 3 rebounds. Um, you know, he didn't play enough minutes to make really any kind of impact out there, which is so weird because Sohan would have been so good to have out there against the Celtics because he's so versatile. You switch so many things on defense against the Celtics, and then Sohan can guard 1 through 4. Even if he's down on the block against Porzingis, Porzingis has the advantage, of course, but I'd feel better with a Sohan on him than a lot of other guys except Wemby. But yeah, hopefully his back's feeling okay. That's the only reason I can think is his back being sore. I can't think of any other reason why he'd only played 13 minutes. We got a Champagny side, and he played 20 minutes. He's 3 from 6, hits a 3 rebounds, 7 points. He played solid defense out there. I don't know why Champagny's not getting any minutes anymore either, because he was always solid for us. We got De'Aaron Fox, but it's not like there's not room in the rotation for Champagny. We have minutes we can give them. I'd honestly rather see him play Keldon Johnson's minutes. Champagny did play more minutes than Keldon tonight, but there have been a lot of games lately where Keldon's playing more minutes than Champagny. It's not even close. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But getting to Keldon, he had 17 minutes, 5 points, 3 assists, 2 for 5, 1 for 3 from 3. I mean, he was out there, nothing crazy. We shouldn't play our bench too much. Like these 3 guys, they should have all got at least 20 minutes, honestly. With Keldon, that's how I feel with Keldon. Give him like 20 minutes or so, 15 or 20 if he's hot. Keep playing him. If he's off that game, then you kind of got to sit him because he doesn't give you a lot defensively, or assist wise, playmaking wise. He's really just kind of a tunnel vision scorer, to be honest. We still love Keldon, but that's the thing with this game. Like once he has his head down, he's going towards the hoop. Like he's not going to pass it out to the corner or anything else. And there's a lot of times where he just doesn't make the right play on offense. Honestly, Stephon Castle, like I said before in the beginning of the video, Castle's a dog. We love Stephon Castle. He's our future. 20 points, only 1 turnover, 2 steals. Again, he ripped Derek White in the backcourt. You never ever see that happen, but he just clean stripped Derek White, and then he threw the lob to Vassell off that strip. So that was nasty because you never ever see Derek White get ripped like that. But yeah, the 20 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He's 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So you love to see that. He'd been kind of on and off with the free throws, but his shot, just in general, free throws, mid-range, 3-ball, it's all just been getting better and better as the year goes on. I think he has a decent 3-ball, a decent mid-range, and I think he's decent on the free throws. Just a matter of him getting more and more in-game reps, and as he's been getting more reps, he's been getting more consistent. With that being said, let me see up here. Chris Paul had 28, 24. Castle should have had the 28, and Chris Paul should have had the 24 minutes. Again, I loved when we picked up Chris Paul. I love everything he's done for us all season up to this point, but there's no reason to play him and De'Aaron Fox at the same time and then tell us Spurs fans that, hey, we're all in on making and making the playoffs, on making the play-in, yet, you're playing 2 point guards out there and playing lineups. That just don't make sense. Again, comment below if you agree with me on the lineups. I've heard a lot of people, kind of saying the same thing about our rotations out there. We'll go through the Celtics quickly. I won't spend too much time on it. Jason Tatum scores 32 points. He's a freaking beast. 14 rebounds and 7 assists. He had 15 points, 14 points in the first quarter. He never looks like he's really playing hard. He just gets to his spots and just kind of scores effortlessly. Tatum's such a good player that just gets he's gotten less hate since he won his championship. I was never a Tatum hater, but the hate's getting quieter and quieter. even though there still are some platforms out there that want to say Tatum's soft and this and that, which just makes no sense to me. But anyway, like I said, Tatum's a beast. But with that being said, wasn't a great shooting night for him. 4 for 14 from three, 12 for 25 from the field. But honestly, that's just under 50% from the field. So not too bad, I guess. But 25 shots for 32 points isn't too efficient. But with that being said, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. He had a block. He still puts 32 points on the board. So if you want to hate on his efficiency with the 32, you can come to the 14 rebounds, 7 assists. He's getting 14 rebounds with 7-3 Kristaps Porzingis playing 37 minutes as well. So, like I said, just look at this: 14 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 10 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds. They had 56 rebounds as a team, where we had 38. So they out-rebounded us by almost 20 rebounds. So, like I said before, I don't know why we're not playing Bismack Biyombo. Again, we signed him to a 10-day contract, and the 10 days are halfway through already, I feel like. So it's kind of like, just get that man out there and let him try to get some rebounds and see what he can do for us. But again, like I said earlier, it doesn't seem like we're all in on making the playoffs for some reason. It seems like we're trying to get one of those higher draft picks, if you catch what I'm saying. But yeah, again, Tatum just good across the board. Hauser is just a good utility type of player for them. He had 12 points, 7 rebounds. Al Horford, 10 rebounds, 6 points, off shooting night, but he just does all these other things defensively to help them. Kristaps destroyed us, 10 for 16, 3 for 4 from 3. He has 29 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. So yeah, he just did a bit of everything out there. He's always just really impactful for the Celtics. He's their main guy. They like to dump it down to him in that mid post so he can just get to his turnarounds and he can just shoot over anybody for those little bank shots that he likes. Again, Derek White, he got ripped in the backcourt by Stephon Castle, so that was dirty. But he had 7 for 16 from the field, 19 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. He did have 6 turnovers, so if you want to pick at something, you can pick at the turnovers. But but yeah, he just did a little bit of everything. 19 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and a steal. Derek White started off as a Spur. I still have so much love for Derek White. He would have probably been this type of player for us. Maybe he would have been a superstar for us. Who knows? But he just had to go to Boston because we were kind of in our tanking mode for Wembanyama, and he wanted to go play for a competitor. So good for him. He got a ring in Boston, and he's just having a great NBA career. So I'm happy for Derek White. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Peyton Pritchard, 10 points, 4 for 12 off the bench. He played 31 minutes, and he's their kind of like spark plug, sixth man type of player. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics, they kicked our ass. Biyombo, yeah, I was thinking they might have. Wait, let me see. Mamu, no, I think Biyombo might have actually. I think he actually did get in for like the last 50 seconds or something like that. I could have sworn I saw him on the court, but I couldn't read his jersey. It was too far away. But I think in absolute garbage time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we subbed in Wesley Branham, McLaughlin, and Biyombo and Mamu. Is that 6 people? No, I think we subbed in those 5. So I think Biyombo actually did get in the game towards the end, but again, it just makes no sense. The game's already over. Like I said to start the video, coming into the game, I knew we're playing the champions. We're playing the Boston Celtics, so I was like, just watch the game and see what happens. And with that being said, I think we could have won the game. We showed good heart out there. We played hard. We played hard for the whole game. But again, I feel like we're playing the games we're winning in spite of our coaching. And I heard that Mitch Johnson, Popovich calls him after every game, and Popovich and Mitch Johnson have a talk on the phone, and Pop kind of tells him what he saw in the game, what we can do better, this and that. But then we just have the same mistakes game after game after game. So comment below what you think. myself as a Spurs fan, I want us to push for the play-in. I want us to get some playoff experience for our guys. But like I said again, it feels like we're not all in to make the play-in, but we're not all in, um, to tank. Which I don't like to see us tanking. We saw too much of that. So I'd rather see us making the push for the playoffs for the play-in. But with that being said, Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey. I don't think we draft Dylan Harper for our team, but there's so much talent coming out of the draft. So I feel like we're kind of stuck in between, um, those two things: playing hard and winning games, and then still getting a high draft pick. But yeah, please comment below what you think about our performance, about our rotations, especially what you think about De'Aaron Fox and Chris Paul playing together, because I feel like they just take away what each other does best. De'Aaron he had a great game tonight. He'd have an even better game if Chris Paul was coming off the bench, and Chris Paul would have an even better game if Chris Paul was coming off the bench, because he'd be running the entire bench. And then we could play guys like Kelton's already coming off the bench. We could play maybe Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley could maybe play alongside Chris Paul, and then you feel more comfortable having them in because the point guard is out there to kind of run the offense and make sure things go smoothly. But yeah, please comment below what you think. Please like and subscribe if you finished the video, and we'll see y'all next time.